thought I'd do a quick run through of this new journal that I made for myself, how I made it and what's inside it. It's made on a binder tool. You can see the wires here. I don't know whether the camera will get this, but these aren't quite completely circular. I've struggled for as long as I've had my binder tool with getting those rings to finish up completely circular, and I've not quite managed to work it out yet. I'm sure I will one day, but for now this still works. The paper inside the journal is watercolour paper. It's from a pad that I already had lying around the house. I'd had it for a couple of years and I'd only used 1 or 2 sheets off it, and so I just cut the sheets in half and used them for this. The paper on the cover is from QVC. I got it from the QVC outlet store, which I'm lucky enough to live near, and sometimes you can go there and get absolutely fantastic craft bargains. Sometimes you can go there and it's a bit pointless. My last trip was a bit pointless, but on a previous one I picked this up. The paper is on board, which was the back of a watercolour paper pad. I think they were both from watercolour paper pads. So nice thick board that I covered with the paper, and then I also used this piece on the back. That's from an 8x8 pad. I'm not sure what make it is, but if anybody's particularly interested, I have still got the rest of the paper in my stash, and I can check that out for you if anybody wants to know. I stapled some elastic onto the back to make a pen loop, which is why that piece is where it is, because it's covering the staples up. And then I bound it all together. Now what is it? Aha, you had a quick peek. Visual Bible notes. I'm in part a visual learner, in part a tactile learner, and Visual Bible notes enables me to hit both of those things in one go. I'm able to have something to look at and have something for my hands to do. So that's what I had a go at. I'm following a set of reading notes from YouVersion, which is 365 days of key chapters, and it runs all the way through from Genesis through to Revelation, but it's 365 days of key chapters, and you only do 5 days a week. So you get 2 rest days a week and 5 days of readings a week, and just you can quickly see which chapters I've done so far. Genesis 1, 2 and 3. It skips to Genesis 12, 15, 22, and then it skips to Exodus 1, Exodus 2 and Exodus 3. Now I'm drawing pictures where I can, and you'll notice here, if you're going to use watercolour media for colouring your pictures in, make sure the pen that you use is waterproof. I thought it was, and I realised afterwards it wasn't, and you can see the mess that I got into here, but after that I picked up the right pen. How do you make stick figures look like they're naked? This is how. I'm not going to... Let's see if we can... move it up a bit. There you go. That's how you make stick figures look like they're naked. But then they got their clothes on. Then they got banished from the garden. So all of that happens, and I'm putting notes in between, drawing the pictures of the bits that I think are important, putting notes in between, and just recording what I need to record. And I'm finding it's making me look at the stories in a different way, making me think about them in a different way. One last thing before I finish is this. This is my bookmark. cut it on the binder tool in exactly the same way. You can see that here. It's just an ordinary tag. But then I took a pair of scissors and came from the edge into the slot that the binder tool cuts on every hole, which means I can do this. And then when I've finished this page and turn over, I can slot it in there, but I'll put it back on here. You can see that one's got a bit bent, and they'll get bent and tattered, but when that gets too tattered to use, I'll just take another one, cut a fresh one and pop it in to the right place. And the fantastic thing about using this as a bookmark is it doesn't move. You don't lose your bookmark. If you were to pick your book up and happen to hold it like that, you won't lose your place because your bookmark stays in exactly the right place. So if you're making books yourself and you're using any type of ring binding, this is a fantastic idea to use. So that's it. My visual Bible notes journal.